You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. The crew is in the building. Starting off with my man, Jay Moore. How are you, good brother?
Doing well. You know, the weather's getting nice. I mean, it was rain today, but, you know, It's going to get like that. But, good weather is good for business.
I heard that. My man, Lonegevity. Hey, buddy.
Howdy, partner.
How you doing, man?
Just doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Good to hear from you.
Thanks.
All right. DJ Jay Diff, what's happening, man?
Salutations, what's happening?
I can't call everything good your way.
Everything's kosher and copacetic and all that good stuff.
Other than the Pacers tricking off that game.
Oh my God.
And so a few suspect calls.
Yeah, there's a lot of ref issues and things of that nature, but we're back in the 90s with this Pacers New York Knicks rivalry.
Didn't it feel good? Didn't it feel good to just 100% hate the Knicks? I was so. It took me back to my teen years when we really hated the Knicks. All right, man. Let's just go ahead and get right to it because a lot has changed since the last time we were on the show together.
Yeah, interesting.
A lot has changed. We left at Euphoria between the Kendrick and Drake saga, which everybody has been watching like it's a TV series at this point. A lot of foolishness on my timeline, but I've learned to not let it raise my blood pressure. But there have been more entries since then. So
a couple, 2, 3.
I'm telling you, man, I didn't even realize it, bro. Like, I woke up and it was, okay, there's another one. And then there's another one.
Run it back.
So this is a loaded topic, but I think there are a few ways to approach it.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Of course. I mean,
let's just go ahead and do like instead of being surgical with it. Like, who do you guys think won?
Kendrick.
I mean, this is I
think this is going to be an ongoing thing. But who do you think has come out looking like more dominant from this weekend's shenanigans, with some people would consider them to be?
Yeah, to me it's Kendrick, and it's always been Kendrick. And I think when you put all of Kendrick's disses together, it's arguably the greatest collective diss of all time. I know there's great disses up there. Don't get it twisted. But
cumulative though.
But cumulative, like the 19 minutes of everything that we've heard, it's up there.
It's definitely up there.
So, to me, it's not even close. Just from all the entendres and the multiple angles and the fact that Kendrick was speaking directly to Drake. You know, to me, the difference in the two is like Drake was talking to everybody and Kendrick was talking to Drake, generally speaking, except for maybe the last one that Drake dropped, maybe a little bit. But in general, that's kind of what I think. To me, it's not really even close. But,
I was in the camp of not even close until this last one came out, and then Family Matters. When I heard Family Matters, I was like, okay, now he's starting to get a little bit closer to where he's supposed to be. When I heard Meet the Grams,
equalized it. At
that point, Meet the Grams is the cutoff point for me. I don't care what come out after that. That's one of the coldest diss records I've ever heard in my life. In terms of dissecting a whole person's everything, like your family, your being. And there's a narrative where, why is he talking about his family? Drake jumped out the window talking about his family first.
He literally was talking about his wife, baby mom, or whatever you want to call her, from the get-go.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm seeing so many people that are rap battle morally conscious all of a sudden. Like, where does this come from? Like, that's never been the case. Like, How is that corny because he's talking about his family when he's already talked about his?
But see, the thing about it is he really didn't talk about his family. He talked about Drake to his family,
which is
it's almost brilliant. Like I'm sitting every member of your family down.
Let me tell you about,
and I'm telling you about your son and why he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And why I don't think he deserves to live. And to his son, you can run this back when you're 18 and actually figure it out and probably agree with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
To me, that was crazy, man.
Family Matters is what made me sit up and say, yeah, because I love seeing the van getting towed off. I thought that was fire. Because the van from the album, that's brilliant. And he was spitting in there. And then it's, like I said, this last one. But either way, though, it's still Kendrick, man. His records are better to me. When we just put them up side by side, line everything up.
From a diss perspective, I think
they're just better.
I think Family Matters is like a bop.
It is.
You know, it's like and then he was like singing on a diss record, and it's kind of
at
like
the beginning
and at the end. He was kind of sing rapping at the end on the last part, which I thought all of them were. It's like if you ever go to like any of the reaction videos for any of the people that are like super Drake heads, they're always just kind of like starting like this and like, okay, before anything even starts. You know, and that's just something to think about when we're talking about diss records.
And that's his lane. Like I expect that when I hear a record from him. I'm like, he's going to find a way to turn this into something that can be played for the masses in the midst of whatever we're talking about.
And now, what's crazy is that's actually been the argument a lot with this whole situation is, well, Drake's got more songs, it's going to get replayability. But it's funny because Kendrick's are the ones that's getting the replayability right now. And as far as who I think win, I think it kind of shows on the shirt I wore. But that's where I've been from the beginning. And that's not even me not liking Drake. I actually like Drake, and I think he actually did a pretty good job.
He did,
considering the type of artist he is. But we've always said that he can rap. When he wants to rap, he can.
Yeah.
And honestly, when Family Matters dropped, I was like, oh,
exactly.
I was like, this is about to get interesting.
I sat up,
but Kendrick took the wind out of the sail within 9 minutes of that song.
That was nasty work.
That's nasty, dude. And for him to come out, because he's posting like crime scene tape and at the end you're dead. He thought it was a rap. Like if we want to be for real about it, Drake thought Family Matters was going to be the end of all of this. And then 9 minutes later,
I want to ask y'all a question, right?
We didn't ask Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry, my fault, Jay. Go ahead, bro.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, go ahead. My fault.
You know, after this exchange over the weekend, especially when we was talking about Not Like Us. If any of you remember from Notorious B.I.G.'s first album, Method Man, on the What had us, I Make It Hot, Won't Even Want to Stand Next to You.
Yep.
That is what Kendrick is attempting to do, or has actually done, to Drake, because now it's like, okay, you see what a lot of people actually think about this dude. Are you going to lend your credibility to this going forward?
Yeah. I would say it's actually done. Been done.
And I think that there are people going to be like, okay, now if you decide you're going to stand next to him, we're going to question you as well.
Yeah.
You know, and if you didn't think
family away,
if you didn't get to the point where you thought this was going to happen, I need to remind everyone listening or watching that Kendrick is from Compton, California. I
said it last week.
You gotta understand, like, from the same place Ice Cube is from, the same place MC8 making all them death wishes has come on, from, man. The where Game is from, regardless of what you think.
Easy.
Like, these people are known for, you know, he comes from a lineage of battle rapping and taking people down. So I think people need to understand. And look, people talk about facts, whatever. Just on a rap lyrical level, Kendrick ate on all these songs.
Max.
That's part, because at the end of the day, that's really, from an artistic level, that's what I care about more than who out-rapped who. And Kendrick out-rapped Drake here.
And it's not even to say that Drake didn't rap well.
Because he rapped his ass off. Drake rapped his ass off.
That's not even, like I said, that's not to say that. But also, Kendrick did something that he decided, okay, I know what your lane is, that you do the songs for the girls and, you know, for people to do, like, you doing a little Tootsie Slide or whatever. I'm glad.
Eminem 8-miled him.
What he did, he's like, I'm going to make a song with crazy punchlines, and then I'm going to have parts where the crowd the DJ can drop the fader, and then there's going to be a part where everybody chants along, and then you already see people doing line dances to this record.
Bro.
Like,
immediately.
It's about, like, I'm telling you, this is going to potentially, regardless of the subject matter, is this, unless something really crazy comes, this is potential song of the summer.
Yes.
This is going to kick it off at barbecues, you know, at family reunions on the West Coast especially. You know, it's going to be, I guarantee you, like, if somebody sees how these things work in real time, it's going to go up in the club when this record comes on.
Facts.
And that's not something that we've been able to say for, you know, a lot of Kendrick's material, and, you know, especially off of his last album. But, you know, but that's the thing. He knows how to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the wild thing. Like, you know, I just think this is a line of demarcation as far as hip hop. This is, you know, you dealing with Drake before and after.
Yeah.
You know, Not Like Us, because he's been trying to tell y'all, look, this dude is literally not like us. He doesn't come from this. And if anything, he might be the one who's in here just using it to get over.
Hey, man, listen.
So I'm just saying it's going to be some people who might have been excited about a Drake feature at one point who are going to be like, let's hold off on that.
Yeah, man. He is not Team America. So
Team North America.
Yeah, well, he doesn't count. This is Team America over here, man.
Well, I mean,
if anybody's gonna make America great again, it's gonna be Kendrick lyrics.
Don't make me play stepdad.
Well, I just I'm just glad I didn't hear anybody say call him a dirty foreigner. I'd have been like, wait a minute, you've heard that?
Yeah.
Calling Canadians dirty foreigners.
That's just mean.
I wish he would.
There's good people. What does Trump say? There's good people there.
Yeah,
good people.
Yeah, I mean Toronto catching. I mean they lost.
Plenty of good people.
The Maple Leafs lost the 7-game series again.
Well,
par
for the course, man.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just
they needed something. Come on, Maple Leafs, you could have done better than that.
This is a unprecedented situation here because this has never happened in hip hop music. Period. To where somebody can drop a song and I can respond to you immediately, and then I can respond to you again,
and the world can hear.
And then you follow back up. Like this whole rap battle, once it got caught wind, is historical. I think this will be talked about forever, essentially, as far as music and hip hop is concerned, because it just the back and forth was decent. It got kind of messy. I will say as far as and that's being I'm saying light about it. All right, let's kind of start from not necessarily the beginning, but somewhat the beginning at least when Drake started rapping.
Right.
When Drake jumps into the battle, he's immediately like, I'm here now, and then he doubles up with another track and is like, hurry up and rap. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm ready for you to rap. I want you to come outside. And
after Kendrick addressed it on like that.
Yep.
Right. After
Drake hit him with too quick.
Him with too quick. And then once Kendrick decided to come outside and play again, it got real spooky. Because and it's crazy because once Euphoria dropped, which I think is the best out of everything, Euphoria is probably my favorite. Once that dropped, Kendrick pretty much set Euphoria up as the rest of what he was about to do. Like if you go back and listen to Euphoria, he's telling you exactly what he's going to do.
It's foreshadowing.
Yeah, foreshadowing for the whole battle. And even if Drake was this guy that so-called leaked this information, he's doubling down on that too as well by telling him you're a master manipulator.
Yep.
You're a liar. Mm-hmm. All of that. He stated all that in Euphoria essentially before he even got to what was that? Meet the Grams. Where I mean the only verse in question is
the 11-year-old.
The 11-year-old, because everything else was just him stating what a lot of people can see or can kind of allege is going on, basically by Drake's actions or whatnot. But as far as I kind of think the back and forth as far as him being considered a pedophile and then the whole wife beating situation, it's weird to me to see people pick sides on that. On those two things.
Good call.
That's what bothers me with this whole thing, whether or not any of this is true or not. But to see people in real time picking sides with either a wife beater or a pedophile.
True.
And like going to bat for those type of lyrics is mad weird to me. It kind of makes you look at people a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying?
I would agree.
Yeah.
You can tell some people just showed up for this.
Yeah.
Like they don't really know anything about the artist or the situations. It's just like they're just here for the foolishness.
But
if both are true, then to be honest, both artists have issues that they need to deal with, and both are technically in the wrong. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. But it's
there are levels to it.
The react to Terry's point about the types of reactions and the reactions. I'm noticing a lot outside of just the lyrics. I think he makes a great point in terms of how people are even choosing to pick sides about that. But there's also a level of, like Lone, you and I were talking about prior to us going on, about what I call the anti-Kendricks. Like there's a huge groundswell of the anti-Kendricks, and you'll know if you're...
I think it's both though.
But the reason I'm saying, what I'm seeing more, at least from my viewpoint, is the anti-Kendricks, which means the people that I've never seen mention Drake, but now they caping for him and championing. Say it for me, Lone.
Championing?
Thank you. For Drake.
Championing.
Thank you. I'll take that too. For Drake, and he's the rap god now, and there's think pieces and all this. I'm like, y'all have never talked about this dude ever. Now he's your favorite artist. You're just the anti-Kendrick. That's what I see. I see a lot of
that's par for the course. So that's going to happen when think back when the Nas and Jay-Z battles was going on. Think back when the Biggie and Tupac battles were going on.
We were outside.
But the internet didn't exist.
True.
It did, but it didn't exist.
Not like this.
Like that. To where
Not
I
on
can
your
get,
phone.
Right. Not on your phone to where I can get on. These songs are dropping in real time.
Yep.
They don't need to go to a studio to be mastered and then put out. They can literally be recorded right now and dropped.
Yeah.
And we're just in a different time. So I don't think the reactions are any different than it would have been back then if we had these same tools in order to get our
Circumstances were the
opinions out.
same.
Right,
Yeah.
because I mean people are going cape for whoever they think is the best regardless. And a lot of people are going to cape for the wrong reasons based off a lot of emotion too. There's no reason that anybody should be emotionally involved in a rap battle between two artists that know nothing about you.
It's more emotion and less logic from what I see. It's a lot of emotion. The emotion is the heavier part from what I see.
And I also think that I think it's also about how people consume and ingest and digest music as well as what this is showcasing. Like there is a clear difference in the person that digests music that is a Kendrick fan versus somebody that is a Drake fan. And it's being supremely highlighted.
It's on display.
Supremely highlighted right now because there are people that we all pretty much just said that they both did well, but Kendrick was pretty much shining.
Yeah.
And that's our opinion for everything that we've, our background in music and doing this show for 8 years and being in hip hop for as long as we have. But there are also other people that do not believe that.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And they are riding for Drake 100%. And I don't think that they can be persuaded. I don't think Kendrick can do anything to persuade them in a similar manner to where, like, to a degree, I don't know if Drake could really do anything to really persuade me. To me, Drake doesn't have ammo to compete with Kendrick. And so Kendrick is going to win by default if they're doing the same, if they're rapping on the same level. But it just so happens that Kendrick is rapping better than him and all these other things. And Drake is rapping super well. But all things considered, as far as rap beef is concerned, Kendrick has got way more ammo than what Drake does. And Drake is just kind of repopulating and saying the same thing over and over again. And so you can't really, me personally, as the type of listener that I am, you're not saying anything like we said last week and the last 2 weeks. You're not saying anything that is really that is stinging Kendrick outside of stuff that has already been said, stuff I've already heard.
That's why
it's like, okay, cool.
That's why
he makes good records.
That's why I like Meet the Grams so much. That hurts.
It's a personal attack.
That whole joint hurt him. I don't care what he says.
As a man in his face.
Yes, as a man, I'm gonna look at you, a man in your face.
I wanted to talk to you on your man in your face.
Yes,
that hurt him.
Hurt him bad.
I think Not Like Us. I mean, that's the one that overall, it's not only to Kendrick, but it's about how other people feel about Kendrick that maybe they haven't said out loud.
Yes.
Even Drake said it on his last song, Heart Part 6, that he liked that song, but then you start talking about that goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you jumped in the waters and you kind of, all right, this is what kind of bothers me about the situation is you can't bait me and attack the mother of my children, but I can't say anything about your people.
Thank you, man.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't.
You
and
set
then
the rules.
you can't in turn decide that I'm the one that has to create receipts, but you don't. So why would I decide that, okay, you can't really say nothing because if you are saying something, you got to drop the receipts. Well, you got to drop receipts too, because at the end of the day, none of us know if any of this stuff is true. And that's what kind of kills me about the average fan of either one of these cats. In rap battles in the past, whatever, people say some untruths. You know what I'm saying? That just happens.
Facts.
And you can't double down on anything that anybody says, and you don't know these people. Like, people are literally, it's almost like you know more about somebody that you don't know.
That you've never met.
Know about the people that are literally sitting right next to you.
Yeah.
Based off of internet access or whatnot.
And I've never in my life, and Terry makes a great point. We've all been outside long enough to know. We've seen hella rap battles in various different forms. This is probably the most unique one that we've seen, right? That's fair to say.
Hands down, it might be the best in history.
But my thing is, like with that, I've never heard so many people analyze this with so many morals and, well, if it's a lie, it doesn't count, or how do we know? I've never heard that.
None of us know none of this.
We were growing up. Nobody knows anything.
don't know.
I've never heard that as a demerit or something against somebody. Well, we don't know if it's real or not. Nobody brought that up when we was listening
did.
to rap.
We did.
I never mentioned that in rap battles.
I mean, Tupac starts his song. That's why.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I don't
he starts
remember.
his song, and nobody was like, "Oh, he has to prove that."
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about.
These are all allegations.
Thank you.
Everything is allegedly.
But I also
That's
think,
all I
but I
need.
also think that we're in a time right now where receipts are important
Yes.
and accountability is super important.
Yes.
And so I feel like we have the capacity to a degree to
Figure it out.
check it out. Like back then, everything moved a lot slower. You know what I mean?
That's true.
There was like a lot of illusion. You know, it's like
That's true.
Like someone could
it's
diss you,
just-
you wouldn't
it's-
hear a response for like 3 months until the album
It's
rolled out.
just, and it's different maybe because we can speak on the previous eras because we were there.
right.
So that part of it, it just never really was a thing like it is now. Like what you're saying about today's era, of course, is going to be different. But that just threw me for a loop because I'm like, I've never had these conversations about rap battles ever. It's been,
I've seen-
this is better or this is better.
Yeah, I've seen so many. I feel like a lot of new hip hop content creators were spawned and created out of this beef because there have been so many deep think pieces on TikTok, and
Reaction
stuff.
videos, yeah.
that have come from this, that from people that I don't never even heard of before, don't know why I should care about their opinion,
Do you think
don't
that's
have any history of talking about it.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Well,
I'll tell you what it is.
I mean, it's just some of the people that are speaking about this stuff know what they're talking about.
Okay.
Some of them
All
are
right.
just trying to capitalize off of a moment,
Off
you
the
know.
clout.
And I feel like if it's a good moment for some people to
Yeah.
help, get to the next thing, then that's cool. If they're speaking with conviction and intelligence.
I'm glad you said that because I'm coming to you, bro. I'm glad you said that because I think there are some. I've watched a couple and they seem like they look qualified to me.
I've seen
Makes perfect sense. on a
I've seen
breakdown.
great breakdowns from people I've never heard of before.
No facts.
And then I've
Facts.
seen some from other people where I'm just like, this person shouldn't have a spotlight.
What were you gonna say, bro? You said you were gonna say, when we talked about
I'll tell you what it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I think he kind of touched on it as far as people knowing that this is going to gain traction.
Yeah.
So they want to talk about it. I mean, it's great, and it's. This is just very interesting, man. I mean, I think a lot of us are exhausted from these rap battles now because it's been happening so much.
Yeah.
But it's like you still want another hit. I still want at least one more.
do you want one
I
more?
want one more. I want Kendrick to say something because technically on the Hard Part 6, Drake is conceding.
Oh,
To me,
100%.
he's trying to concede as the winner.
Yeah.
In his mind, because I mean he's pretty much telling you, you took the bait and you're corny because you took the bait.
I don't want to do this anymore.
I don't want to do this anymore. I mean,
I'm going on vacation.
you wanted to do it, and now that it's going on,
Now you don't want to do it.
now
anymore.
we're here. There's no way that you can say that I'm literally kicking my girl's ass and I haven't seen my kids in 6 months. But no, I don't. I'm cool on the response from that. No. Now you didn't piss me off. Now I'm really, if I wasn't mad before that, now I'm real mad because you're talking about me like I'm out here beating my girl. And yeah, I called you a pal. Oh, well, these are, I mean, there's different scenarios and scenes that you can look for online that's available to you that shows questionable behavior from Drake, right?
Sure, as a groomer.
Yeah.
Nate Jeezy makes a good point. He says Kendrick beating his wife ain't never been a thing, so it's not sticking in the same way.
No,
Yeah, that's
true.
again,
It was
that's-
like a
that-
tabloid.
Yeah, that's kind of goes back to why do I have to prove this about you, but you don't have to prove nothing about me? Because that ain't how it work. I mean, we either need to shoot the fair one, like Shawn Michaels is offering for the WWE, because this is definitely entertainment.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna bar you up again.
Yeah.
Because you can't just bow out like that and think I'm not going to say nothing. You literally just said you probably aren't going to respond. You feel like you're being the bigger man and stepping away from this battle.
Terry, you actually made a good point as to something that I wanted to mention. I know we're still going to do some breakdowns, but that was one of the questions I wanted to pose just to everybody. And Jay, I'll kick it to you first. 2-part question. 1, is this overkill at this point? And 2, has this been beneficial for hip hop culture? You can answer either or however
I'll
you
take
want to
them
answer.
both. Well, you know what? I think I don't know. You know, at this point, things move so fast that at this point, you should let us enjoy these records and make us see what they're going to do. I mean, and I think everybody needs to chill for a second.
Yeah, let it breathe for a little bit.
I mean, because it could get, if this is where we are right now, if we're going to keep going downward, it might really get to a point where, all right, well, guys, stop. Like, this is embarrassing for the culture. I don't think we're at a point where I feel like it's embarrassing for the culture yet, but it could get to that point.
Right.
It's almost like had Jay-Z not put out Super Ugly, he would have been the clear winner. But because he put out Super Ugly and got emotional and said some stuff that even his mama made him apologize for, then it was like this has been embarrassing. Maybe not for the culture, but for Jay-Z.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, and is this good for the culture? Yes, because regardless of which one that you think is better, it brings people wanting to rap back.
I would agree.
This is people trying to put some effort into lyrics and trying to say something, even if it's to say something demeaning about somebody else. Because a lot of times, like, we're so into chants and choruses right now in what you would consider to be popular rap music.
Yeah.
That I don't know what's even said in between these charts and choruses most of the time. These chants and choruses, rather. So, I mean, from that standpoint, I think it is good because it gives someone to say, well, if you're not going to do it like this, then please keep your little ABC 1, 2, 3 raps to yourself.
Yeah, there's still people trying to jump in here too. I don't know if y'all see the game is trying to bait Rick Ross into it.
Bless his heart,
man. It's just so unnecessary. It's
corny,
like
bro.
Everybody is trying to capitalize off of this moment. Everybody's inserting themselves into this, just like even Kanye trying to insert himself into it.
He's really got to feel bad.
Corny.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared about what you had to say.
Nobody.
And we don't want to hear Rick Ross versus the game rap battle. I'm just cool. I hope Rick Ross doesn't take the bait on that.
I don't need that at all. Lone, I want to come back to you on the overkill and just the overall impact for the culture. What are your thoughts?
I kind of do think it's overkill. This is a personal anecdote, right?
Sure.
But I was tired before Not Like Us came out, just because it was so much. Mm-hmm. But then Not Like Us came out, and I was like, okay. This goes back to previous episodes where I've told you guys, and I've told you many times, that I'm not really a rap beef person. I don't really get into it like a lot of people do.
You always said that.
So, like, I don't know what more can really be said without saying the same thing a bazillion times between these two. I think it's kind of ran its course.
Right.
They could drop a couple more records and maybe it would be good, or not. But I kind of I'm kind of leaning towards what Jay says. Like, there's a point where you're doing too much. And I feel like right now hip hop is winning because it's taking the eyes off of, this is the focus in pop culture, period right now is this. I haven't heard any fashion hoe rap news recently. Sure. I don't know what's going on in that world. Nobody new has popped up. I haven't heard a song that I don't care about, so it's just a bunch of beef tracks I don't really care about. But either way, I think it's been generally good though, because it is two of the top guys, going head to head back at each other, showcasing bars, showcasing lyricism. Everybody is dissecting. I saw a video on TikTok where it was a teacher saying, like, if you don't think that this has been good, 5th graders and 4th graders, like, going through entendres and talking about, wordplay and all this other stuff. She's like, it's been great. So
I didn't see anything like that. That's dope.
And when you think about the climate of, education aspects and how dumbed down a lot of the music has become, this is kind of the opposite of that.
Yeah, that is very true.
So, I think it's generally been good.
Yeah.
It's not the thing that I personally would like to focus on when it comes to hip hop music, but,
you can see the good in it.
But there's benefits from it. Yeah. And it is sparring to a degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is, there is, but it's definitely super personal. But, I think it's ran its course for me, but has it for, I don't know.
What you think, bro? In terms of just the overkill and also how it impacts the culture.
I don't know if I'll say it's an overkill, because it kind of was how the match was set up. Mm-hmm. Kendrick dropped, or he didn't drop, Future dropped like that, where Kendrick pretty much baits Cole and Drake to say something to him. Finally, Drake said something, but Drake doubled down. He doubled down, and then Kendrick doubled down. Actually, he tripled, hitting with 3.
Man.
And then
2 and then 1
and then 1. Yeah. He hit him with 2, so he followed his Drake, same situation. It's like a chess match.
Yeah, for sure.
You got two.
Yeah.
All right, here's two. Then he is like, I got one ready in the chamber if he decides to drop.
Yeah.
He dropped one. I'm going to drop this right after him. Boom.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to drop another one. So it's like, I think as far as the gameplay, how it's set up, how meticulous it's been, and how it's entertaining because these songs were coming from left field every time.
True.
It's like you just scrolling on your phone and you're like, hold on, man. Is this real?
You know what's so funny too is that after he dropped Euphoria and I was editing the episode, I was like, if I was Kendrick, I would probably drop another one.
Yeah.
Just to stack on top. I was like, I was thinking like this would be a really clever play, you know, and then he did. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And then he dropped it, you know, then he just kept hitting him with it. Yeah. And real quick, the overkill, I think it might be overkill if another one drops, but I think where it stops right now, that's kind of where I was like, okay, that's a good. That's
if we leave it where it is right now,
I think it's straight. I think everything kind of had its purpose, but if we get more, I guess I'll just have to come back and it depends on what it is. You know?
I mean, it's very hard to follow. I think Terry sent me.
Yeah.
I think Terry sent me Family Matters, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, wait, we just had, I couldn't even remember what the one before it was. Because I think you sent me.
16 or something?
Yeah, I think it was.
It was the
616, right?
616, which has a lot of double meanings and entendres. And I think, again, to your point, too, because I wasn't really finished with my point.
Yeah,
my fault.
These songs are making people think. They're making people, regardless of if you usually do it or not, a lot of people are spending a lot of time trying to figure out exactly what's going on here or trying to pick up double meanings and things of that nature. So I think it's good as far as that's concerned. It's a huge win for hip hop because you have literally the two elite hip hop artists right now, the pop or the most popular one going against the one that we would probably christen the most popular one on the hip hop side. So I think it's really good as far as that's concerned. It's just those the other personal shots is kind of like I said, it's weird because it leaves a weird image for both of these artists. You know what I'm saying? If any of this is true,
right?
So it's good as far as that's concerned. I don't think it was too much. I don't think it's an overkill. I do think Kendrick probably can drop one more and it'll be a wrap. That's how I feel about it.
Well, you know, one of the things that you brought up is when you know, we're hearing about 4th and 5th graders. Yeah. You know, not so much invested in the beef, but just having to look up what things mean. Yeah. You know, because honestly, we're in a rap world now where you know, quote unquote popular hip hop artists aren't saying anything that would make you say, well, let me go check out what that means.
There's nothing to look up.
You know, it's not like, and I know this once again makes me the oldest of the new old heads. I remember when I would see things on Yo MTV Raps that I didn't quite understand. You know, even if it was just something as simple as the concept of, you know, when KRS-One said my philosophy, you know, about steak, goat, you know, basically the concept of vegetarianism. Yeah. Right. I had no concept of somebody who was like, what do you mean you don't eat meat? Right. Like that didn't make any sense to me until I was like, oh, okay, I see what this is. Or just, you know, the political figures or countries that they would bring up. You know, there was things for me if I wanted, you know, because, you know, I had one of those parents where if I didn't know a word, whether it be something I saw on TV, read in a comic book or heard in a rap song, they'd be like, go look it up. You know, when you listen to, you know, modern popular hip hop, I don't think there's a lot of, hey, go, what does this mean? Just go look it up. It's all surface
people
level.
Don't want to hear it.
Yeah. So,
and that's been obvious during this battle too. A lot of people saying how they don't want to decipher things. So it's good that some people are enjoying that, but then it's showing other hand of people that literally don't want to figure things out. Well, they want it fed to you. They want it to be a nursery rhyme. They want it to be easy to comprehend. I don't want to have to run it back. That's a lot of the people that are standing for Drake, or not even standing, so to speak, because standing is almost becoming a bad word nowadays. Fans of him, as far as they know exactly what Drake is saying. But Drake is actually doubling down on some stuff too. If we want to be honest, there's a lot of double entendres and double meaning that he's dropping that I think that Kendrick is bringing out of him. So that's good for the culture as well. It's similar to when Jay-Z and Nas was going back and forth. Nas wasn't dropping the best music until Jay-Z baited him, and they started going back and forth. And then he dropped Stillmatic, which was a very good album. So
Be careful.
I thought it was good.
Be careful.
Anyway, but
come on now.
Nah, I think what's going on is solid though. It's good. It's good for the culture and
net positive.
Definitely
net positive.
You know, it's just crazy because there have been other hip hop beefs, but we don't know about them, pay attention to them because we don't care about the artists. And plus, like basically a modern diss track, excluding what we've heard in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, has included the same elements. I had sex with your girl, suck my. You're gay, and I'll shoot you on sight. Like those are basically the 4 elements of like fashion hoe rap beef. And I don't want anybody to think I'm just talking about women when I say that. When I say fashion hoe rap, I mean men too.
Yes.
All you do is go to a strip club and buy shoes. Like that's what I consider that same category.
Yeah. For sure.
So I don't know. And some people could say, well, that's all I hear in these records too. And they have a case for that. But
I haven't heard anybody talk about killing anybody. Now I did hear Kendrick say, well, they both said they wished each other was dead, kind of.
Yeah, close enough.
But they didn't talk about I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, I didn't hear any. We pulling up or we got this or we got that.
Kind of. There was some.
I mean, Kendrick said,
"Don't come to Oakland."
Well, he did. He did say the Oakland. I forgot about the Oakland part.
That
might be your last show.
Yeah,
he did say that. He did say that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty much him saying.
Pac fans are like that though.
Oh yeah, and also him. Pretty much putting a stamp in, this is my city, this is my coast, and all of y'all that really don't like me. I mean, because I don't know if y'all have seen like some of the people that are doubling down on Kendrick. So you got Mace, you got Cameron,
Mason Gilly. It's really weird, man.
Yeah, I don't understand that, but I'm thinking it goes back to them being praised by Drake though.
Thank you.
Because Drake, it's almost like Drake wants to collect all the hip hop memorabilia that has ever happened. So he's got
to collect them
Cameron
all.
stuff. That's why he has Pharrell stuff.
Pac.
That's why he has Pac's ring. And he's also brought Dipset out on stage.
Cam and Mace had OVO jackets
Come
on the
on,
other day.
man. Y'all are so corny. And what kills me about that is Cameron stating that Kendrick's song is too long, but you dropped an 8-minute diss for Jay-Z that nobody remembers.
Nor cares about.
So you can't tell me that Kendrick's song is too long and he wasn't barring this man up and your song was great and that's why you're siding with Drake because his songs are shorter and he's getting directly to the point.
I was surprised at some of those OG reactions.
I wasn't.
Gilly, I was looking at Gilly. Gilly's almost like a caricature now. It's like he's just going to say something and make his eyes real big and just be outlandish for no reason and then just get up out of there. Like that's what I see with him now. I don't really see too much. Like I don't know, bro. I fool with Gilly, but I'm saying that as it relates to how he responds to things, it's just more about him being. It's like a content response. I'm just gonna say something real crazy, real quick, and we're gonna keep moving.
I kind of think a lot of these artists wish that they got the praise that Kendrick has.
There we go.
They don't. They look at Drake as something different. Than a Kendrick. So these are people that came from a for real rap background.
Mm-hmm.
So Kendrick is the guy that they probably wish that they were versus Drake again being the pop star.
Right.
I can't be a Drake. I can't rap like Drake does. I don't have the same content as a Drake. So I can't be him. So they don't like Kendrick.
Shout out to Nate Jeezy. Mace is slow and so is Gilly. He said, Nate Jeezy also said a lot of rappers hate on Kendrick because he ain't an ass kisser. Jay Elect was Team Drake also.
Yeah.
Mace has given off slow vibes before.
I mean, since his whole career.
He was a pastor.
And look.
It ain't about the pastors, y'all.
And look.
He's a fake pastor. Don't do that long. He's a fake pastor.
He was a real pastor.
Nah, I ain't believe it.
Electronica, I mean, because we forgot, about him because he came after Kendrick on Control, or was it before? I don't even remember.
No, I can't even remember. Control seems like 20 years ago now.
All I know is at one point, that was the only part of the song we played.
Same way we like that.
Yeah.
It's like, nobody's talking about Future at all about any of this.
Well, Drake did. Drake is really, his feelings are hurt about it. He said it. He said, I was pretty much, he said, I'm hurt that Future has said this about me because I thought we were cool. such and such must be in your ear. So it's like I'm a diss some of these dudes, but really I still want to be our friend. It's kind of doubles down back to on Not Like Us when Kendrick is referencing you run to Atlanta whenever you need something.
Yeah.
It's almost like I can't lose Future. That's my other Atlanta connect.
And I'm going to need him at some point when I drop this record. Yeah.
So
when Terry talked about, best rap battle ever or most potent or however you want to call it, we've never seen anything like this.
It's unprecedented, man.
Yeah, this is definitely a one of one. This is a one of one for
that's
sure.
why I think it's
just in the speed in which is when like I said, when NWA dissed Ice Cube, they had to wait to put the whole rest of the album out. So I can't remember. It was like 3 or 4 months before that came out. It wasn't like immediate. Even with when Takeover came out.
Man,
that was 3 months.
Yeah, it was like 3 months before we heard. Well, I mean, people heard Ether, but before the album came out, before Stillmatic came out, us being able to hear a reply to a diss song 6 minutes later, yes, that's unprecedented. It just doesn't, and it's
that's wild for somebody just be sitting there to press the button. Like, go ahead and put it out there.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as $3 a month. All details on newoldheads.com.
Jay Moore just mentioned a good point as he talked about mixing and mastering. One of the most popular hip-hop personalities, who I think is a damn clown, is in the news, man. And I'm talking about getting dragged on Black Twitter. That is the one and only DJ Vlad. Yes, they're dragging DJ Vlad on Black Twitter. Do you think artists are going to stop going to his interviews and telling on themselves? No, that's not going to stop. So don't get too excited. But he's definitely getting dragged for his comments because he had a real small social media spat. And it was related to the mix for, what was Kendrick's last record, the last one?
Not Like Us?
Not Like Us, yeah. So I'm looking at the article here, and I saw the actual tweet. Like, there was a screenshot of it. But there's a young lady named Morgan Jenkins. She's an author, and she's a professor at Princeton. And Drake, Overkill alone. I'm sorry, man. I'm thinking about Drake.
I mean, this is literally about Drake and Kendrick.
It is. But DJ Vlad said something about the Not Like Us mix. It wasn't mixed properly, so it took away from the record.
I don't think so.
First of all, most people will either listen to it on YouTube or on their phone, and they weren't like, we're checking for the lyrics here, Chief.
Yeah, like he's basically saying it wasn't mixed right, and that took away from it.
Yeah, Dr. Dre didn't get around to mixing these Kendrick diss records.
She's the niece of the niece of Darkchild, Rodney Jenkins.
Okay.
So shout out to that because he's an incredible producer.
Absolutely.
But she jumped back on him and was like, retweeted his post and said, "You're white. This is a black folk affair. This is the professor. This is the response."
I'm just not hearing about all this.
You haven't heard this one?
No, okay. I literally was just thinking about like what it takes, because I was thinking about you guys as producers.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about I didn't know anything about this.
She's basically saying like, this is black folk talk, fam. Just chill. Like, we don't need
because he said that the record wasn't mixed
properly. So she kind of jumped out the window. Was like, nah, this
she
is
definitely jumped out the window.
This is black folk talk. So that's one part.
Yeah, I think the problem was him following that up with, "Oh, you work for Princeton? I'll be in contact with them."
That's when Drake turned into Drake.
You
gotta get Drake off your mind.
Man.
Drake is on my mind. What's going on? I'm sorry, y'all.
SWV song. Always on my mind.
This is when Vlad turns into a Karen. That's not SWV, bro. Don't do that.
Georgia on my mind.
It is. I see what you did.
Anyways.
But look, man, so Vlad turns into a Karen at this point, but his initial response was, wait, so a professor at Princeton is telling me that a white person shouldn't be allowed to voice their opinion about hip hop. Is that how you interact with your students? This is Karen-ish, like you're starting to get emotional. So he says he's going to get in contact with Princeton, blah, 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 blah. I don't like this because this is typical Vlad activity. But my question is, was she wrong for jumping out the window by saying this is a black
Yes, she
topic?
absolutely was wrong.
Can this be two things here? Can we address both?
See, this is the thing. And this is what like I said, you telling me about the story is just now me hearing about it.
Gotcha.
So that's the energy we get every week when Lone will make a point And then it'll just be people like, shut your white ass up. What do you know about hip hop?
Right.
Hey, hold on real quick, Jay. She said, just to finish off, she said, what I'm saying is that you put your opinion in a discussion that's not needed. This conversation is and should center black people, not you.
Okay, I don't like that. Because first of all, he didn't say anything. He's coming from somebody who's probably sat in studios and like, you know, he's had to make sure his mixtapes were on point when that's really what he was doing and make sure the sound quality is right. So it's the same way when I listen to something differently because of the conversations I've had with you and Lone about the mixing and mastering of someone's project. Like there's a song out by an artist here locally that I think would be a bigger hit if it didn't sound so muddy. Yeah. Now, that doesn't have anything to do with white or black. That has to do with me having, you know, consulted with you guys on things and just my time and being in hip hop. Right. So when you automatically go to shut your white ass up thing, like you lose a certain level of credibility with me. I don't like that. Now for him to say, don't you work for Princeton? Now he's kind of matching energy. Yeah. So I can't really, like, I think it's goofy behavior, especially from a man coming from going to a woman. Yeah. I don't like that.
That was the part that was on Twitter that was being blown up.
Yeah, but you know what? You know, people, once again, we've talked about how people just don't like Vlad. Same way people don't like Drake and they don't like Kendrick. For whatever reason, they're going to just go ride on him any chance they get. But like when you come out of your mouth, like he said something about mixing and mastering, something very technical, and you automatically go to race. I don't like that, especially considering how long I've been in hip hop, and you know, and whether you like Vlad or not, you know, to jump on that immediately is bad look. And so, honestly, I think what he did was goofy, but I also think what he did was matching energy.
Talk to me, Terry. What you think?
I kind of agree with him as far as what he said, because when I seen it, the first time I seen it, I was like, yeah, we don't really care for Vlad
at all.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking what she did is she seen something and she wanted to say something because he's been irritating her for so long. Right. Yeah, so she used this as reason to be like, this is a black situation. You shouldn't have anything to say about it. Mind you, he interviews mostly 90% black artists, and he has caring activities on the show because he gets these people to pretty much first 48 themselves a lot of times. So I mean, this is what Vlad does. I mean, we know who Vlad is. Yep. Black Twitter is a whole different organization and gang. So when somebody decides that we riding on somebody on Black Twitter,
they don't even need all the facts.
Man, that's just what it is. We riding on them. I've never really participated in the Black Twitter tear down of an individual, whether they be white, black, Hispanic, Chinese, or whatever. I always just read about the situation and what happened. This particular situation, though, yes, I do not care for Vlad. Never have, never will. But to jump out of the window from the very beginning, like this is a black affair, it's an everybody affair, especially considering when he's telling Drake that he can't say no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, once you put something on the DSPs or on YouTube, it's for everybody at that point. You know, I didn't have to give the number to my black card to listen to the song.
No, because I want some other people to hear that too. You can't say that. You know what I'm saying? That's where my angle that I'm coming from on that one. But for you to jump out of the window on a mixing and mastering situation, and I mean,
they said that's
a little far, but
she's been waiting for an opportunity to take down Vlad.
It's the straw that broke the camel's back, essentially.
Yeah.
It was, you know, usually when somebody goes off, it's always the smallest thing that they did that makes me be like, all right, I'm done with this shit.
What do you know about mixing and mastering?
Yeah.
Shut your white ass up.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's what happened, and a lot of people doubled down on it based on their disdain for Vlad or whatnot. But there's a lot of people that still rock with Vlad. I mean, Boosie and him is like best friends, it seems like.
I don't think they're best friends. I think he pays him well.
I think he pays
probably,
him well. But I mean,
Boosie tolerates him.
But you know what? Those interviews do well enough, and you know, and you can get mad, but like, yo, I know people don't like him, but he talks to people that I want to hear from that nobody else will talk to.
Yeah, I don't think.
So that's why he's at like 5 million subscribers.
Yeah, I don't think the day of reckoning has come for Vlad.
Oh, it's not going to change anything.
Because a lot of people were cheering and jumping for joy that if anything has came out of this Drake versus Kendrick beef or good thing is Vlad getting canceled.
Yeah, y'all don't know how getting canceled works.
I don't think that's going to happen with Vlad at all. I think this is going to be something that washes over within the week, or if it hasn't already. I mean, I literally just seen him at the Met Gala attending with.
That wasn't with Doja Cat, was it?
Doja Cat. He was there with Doja Cat.
Vlad.
That makes me not like Doja Cat.
They've been seeing a lot.
That's weird because I remember like Doja Cat.
I thought it was AI.
Yeah,
she's been wearing that dress a lot.
No, that was just her with Vlad.
Huh. Yeah, I
come on, Doja Cat.
Because I know Doja Cat doesn't like Vlad.
Yeah, you gotta do better than that, Doja Cat. Yeah, you gotta do better than that.
Because when she had the
check my sources.
Check the source. Because I remember when for whatever reason he was the first to interview her when the Cow song hit, and then after that she didn't like the way it was edited or something. Same thing.
Come on, Doja Cat. Don't do this to me because we don't need you out here with Vladimir. But I'll be reaching out to Princeton on Monday.
Maybe it's somebody that looks like Vlad, and I just thought it was him.
Okay. Yeah. That's Karen-ish to me. And they also said they would continue. He would later on threaten to get the remark put permanently on her record. So
that's goofiness. I mean, once
that's
again,
Karen-ish.
I don't like that.
That's entitlement.
I don't like that coming from a man.
Thank you.
But like I said,
I don't like it coming from a white man to a black woman in an institution like that.
Thank you.
But I'm thinking
that's
also,
corny to me, bro.
But I'm also thinking this is the thing. Black people in America, you know how the game goes. Like once you reach a certain level, you just can't say any goddamn thing.
You can't.
And for you to engage in someone and basically he said something. If he'd have said something like speaking for the black community, and then that's when she jumps in and be like, you might need to pump your brakes on that. I get it. But when he makes a remark about mixing and mastering, and then that was really lame on her part. His response was lame, but I'm like, yo, this is a situation really where everybody, you don't have to comment on everything. There's sometimes when I'll see something on Twitter, I'll be like, all right, I'm just keep scrolling. Let me get back to looking at cat videos and girls with big asses. That's where my algorithm is right now. So I'm gonna stick with the algorithm.
What you think, Lon?
I really want to know. I mean, I
think I know where you're going, but
I don't know. As a white person in a hip hop space. Mm-hmm. Jay Moore alluded to it, but I catch so many strays on a weekly basis that it does add up, and it's just super annoying a lot of times because a lot of times it's not warranted.
Right.
Like I caught strays last week literally for just sitting on the show and letting you guys talk. They were just like, man, the white guy seems so uninterested. And I'm like,
what
do you want from me, man? I have I don't want to say a disdain because that's not the right phrase, but sometimes being a minority in said culture, it's almost like a target sometimes, and it's an easy target. And so sometimes you just eat a lot of it, but it does add up. And so her comment was like, to me, it was just annoying more than anything, but I see it so often that it's just kind of like, all right, whatever.
Right. Maybe that's what it was for me, where I was like, I get so tired of going through her comments and seeing the same thing.
Yeah. But at the same time, while that was annoying to me, Vlad did do too much. And also, I do feel like that song was a moment for black people, especially on the West Coast. That's what it felt like. It was like a Bay beat.
It's
style.
Definitely Bay.
He's referencing Oakland. They're doing all the stuff all the stuff that's happening within the video and the reactions to it. It just seemed like a specific cultural moment. I don't even like the beat, which I'm completely.
I don't either. I'm with you on that. I don't
one
either.
Of the minority, but at the same time,
I'm with you on that.
I can see that it had a particular type of impact that, whether it be I'm not from Oakland or I'm not from the West Coast or something, that it just missed me, and I just kind of let it go because it's just like that's whatever that is, like that. And I'm not saying the record in general. I mean like the way that the record is hitting.
I think she was talking about speaking on it in general.
Like him just having an opinion.
Just a song. Yeah, I think she was upset for him having an opinion on any of it. It wouldn't even have had to been that song.
I see.
I think she just didn't want him talking about the Drake and Kendrick situation when literally everybody, not even just in America, I believe somebody over in the UK spray painted "They Not Like Us" on the OVO store in the UK.
Damn.
So I mean this is
it's beyond.
This is beyond American soil. Yeah. This is a worldwide cultural experience that everybody is going through right now, whether it be white or black.
And
you know what I'm saying? This isn't a situation where we're talking about civil rights or somebody was wrong by the police or or the normal run of the mill things that happen between the cultures that black people don't appreciate and stand up for. I mean, the Black Lives Matter situation happened a couple years ago. This isn't one of those things. This is happening in real time. I think anybody can kind of chime in and have something to say about this particular situation. I mean, if you're watching the playoffs right now, they're playing some of these songs in the background while they're talking. So I mean, this is something different. This I can't just say that somebody can't have an opinion on these songs, especially in a tasteful manner that doesn't speak down on anybody in the culture.
Plus, it's also, this has become pop culture at this point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? This isn't like some sort of like subsect of. This isn't Immortal Technique talking next to, it's.
Yeah.
And I'm not opposed to.
Not that there's necessarily anything wrong with it the other way either, but
I'm not opposed to. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because the Black Twitter part is 100% always going to be focused on Vlad, and I'm not opposed to the young lady being held accountable, because like I introed it, she jumped out the window. It's something about him feeling so empowered to be able to say, "I'm going to call your university." Yeah, that's corny to me.
I understand the whole.
That's corny to me.
You tried to get her fired.
Yeah,
but a lot of times we need to separate the whole black and white situation sometimes. And I think this is one of those things, because you're saying you tried to get a black woman fired. In this situation, you tried to get a woman fired.
Okay.
Why does it necessarily have to be you tried to get a black woman fired? And because what happens here in situations like this is why they become slippery slopes, because you jumped out the window from the beginning on some, you shouldn't be speaking about black this or black that. And him saying, "Oh, you work for Princeton, I'm going to be letting them know," essentially. That's not racially motivated. That's, you're coming at me and I see a reason or an angle because I see where you work at, so I'm going to turn into a Karen. I'm going to say that, knowing he's probably not going to do that. But this isn't in my personal opinion, I don't think it's
I see what
let's
you're
get this black woman fired. No, it's more so, I don't like what you just did. I see you work at Princeton. If I can, I'm going to call and pretty much be upset because you're teaching kids and you shouldn't have came at me like that.
This is still me turning into a Karen.
No, if you were a white parent paying 6 figures in tuition to Princeton, and this is one of the people teaching your kid, and we all talk about biases, and you find out that this person that grades your kid's paper has these kind of biases, and we'll put them in a public forum. Sometimes you got to, this is, once again, like I said before, playing white devil's advocate, and things come to this. Talking about the man-woman thing as opposed to white. You just can't match energy with women. You can't do it. Just the same way if a woman hits you in the face, you can't hit her back. And so like that's, and sometimes when we get into these Twitter spaces and we're talking about things, it doesn't seem as impactful as this is eventually a woman hitting a man and him thinking it's okay to hit her back, and it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Long.
I was just saying there's inherent power dynamics in these type of situations that just exist whether they should or not. Mm-hmm. And even though I agree with what you're saying, I do think that there's an inherent power dynamic when somebody like DJ Vlad can call up the university and potentially get you fired.
That part.
Over something like that.
That part.
But check this out. He didn't even have to tell. Guess why we're talking about this right now?
Because on a public forum.
She told on herself.
She told on herself. Black Twitter decided to pretty much read him his Miranda rights. Right. And that's why we're talking about this right now.
That's what made it a thing.
That's what made it a thing.
You're right.
Even if this does come up on Princeton's radar, it's not even necessarily because Vlad did it. They did the work for him.
They did the work for him. With the retweets, they thought they were like, "That's right, you get him," and they didn't realize they were amplifying something that she probably should not have said.
Bingo.
Fair enough.
Good call, Terry. Good call.
Fair enough.
So, I mean,
a good call.
Are we mad because we amplified it now?
I just think multiple things are true.
This is one of those situations where there are definitely multiple things that are true. Yeah. And multiple people should be held accountable.
I don't think she should lose her job over something like this.
Nah.
And I don't.
It's corny even bringing it up.
And to be honest, I don't even think Vlad should reach it. Like, this is something stupid. Like, you're going to reach out to somebody at a university because your feelings got hurt.
Yeah, that's
the most Karen possible thing.
It's very Karen, but it's like Come on, man.
But at the same time,
let's get for real at the end of the day.
If you piss me off in the comments too much, I might find you and get you fired. So
yeah, loan a call White Castle. Straight up. Get you popped off.
I'm going to be honest with you. If somebody's coming at me, I don't care if you black or white. If you say something sideways to me, then that's between me and you. Yeah. It's not me.
Not if you put it on Twitter.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll just be in the wrong then because that's how I feel. I mean, straight up, and that's whether it's in the job place, whether it's I'm shopping at Walmart and you say something crazy to me. I mean, I'm not going to put my hands on you.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I don't think that when it comes to a male and a female, that just because we're all about equal rights and everybody being treated the same. I don't want to be in trouble for standing up for myself, essentially based on this is a woman, and people use that to their advantage. There's like a lot of women, or in some of these Karen cases, they throw rocks and hide their hands. Now I understand those situations,
right?
But I think in this particular situation, people don't like Vlad. And it was just like, all right, we'll use this to get him up out of here. Yeah. We're just going to use this to get him up out of here. And if it sticks, it sticks. But in turn, if anything ends up happening to this young lady, it's actually because we came at Vlad and decided we wanted to get him up out of here on your behalf. But
unique double standard.
Yeah.
Very.
Because he owns his platform. She doesn't own Princeton. So she's in that's where the power dynamic is. And she's in a lot more danger by just getting on Twitter and thinking she can say anything to anybody. And like I said, there were a whole bunch, like I said, it's crazy. I'm just now finding out about this when you bring up the story.
Yeah.
You know, because when I saw it, I was just like, I didn't even vote for it. Like, to be honest, because I thought we had other stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what you were talking about.
It's definitely a thing, though. It's a thing.
But, you know, everybody who thought, yeah, you get them, girl, like, and retweeted it, you actually were not helping.
Black Twitter is completely delusional.
Don't say that.
From this, I'm going to say it.
We're going to find your account.
That's all right. From this standpoint, they're delusional, thinking that this is going to, one, cancel Vlad, and two, people are going to stop coming on his show. Y'all are out of y'all mind if y'all think this is going to change that. Not going to happen.
You know the clientele that comes on the Vlad show?
Oh, I know.
I mean,
look, I
know.
I tell people that, you know, everyone wants to work through traditional media.
Yeah.
And if for whatever reason they don't realize, like, if you got a rollout happening, you better go stop by the Breakfast Club. You better go stop by Vlad TV. And you can be mad at him if you want to, but there was a show called Flatbush something or other. It was on Showtime. It was really good. And I saw the actors come by and like sit down with Vlad, but it was like, y'all should have done this in the first season, because by the time the whole interview was aired, that the show had been canceled. You know, so it's like,
man, look here.
When you look at the numbers and you see the views, look, you can feel any way about these people if you want to, if you're an artist or an entertainer. But if you're trying to get a rollout going, we don't need a rollout, so we don't care nothing about Vlad. But if you got a TV show or you got an album or something you need to roll out, and you know how people sit in front of YouTube all day instead of watching traditional media, you better get it together so you can get your numbers up.
Go see Art of Dialogue. That'd be my suggestion.
You know what?
I like
Art of Dialogue is great for sitting down to talk, but let's just be real. If you got a movie, when Michael Jai White, when he know he need to sit down and talk about his new movie coming out, he gonna sit down and talk with Vlad.
Yes, and Vlad go cut him a check too. He used to say he didn't. Come on. You giving him? Yeah.
Has Dark Child said anything about this, or
I have not heard anything from him,
because that's gaining legs too. Her being related to him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't like.
Yeah,
this.
honestly,
what you mean, Lo?
Yeah. I mean, like,
you don't say so that hard.
Everybody got a cousin to do something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't like this, because
is this cousin to come over for Christmas, and the cousin
if we
is like,
don't
oh, that's
want
my
her
cousin
to be fired.
Yeah.
Why are we adding fire to the flame, essentially?
Just keep
you're gaslighting a situation.
It's what it is.
So Black Twitter hustling backwards is what you telling me.
Man, it's bad. This is bad for business.
Okay.
This is bad for business. Look, this isn't how we come together as a people to try to help somebody trying to get Vlad canceled.
This ain't it. Yeah,
this ain't it, man. We got to find another angle on this one, man.
I'm just trying to be big enough to where I have like a committee that's trying to,
Lone, I'm gonna tell you, the way you trending right now, there's probably a chairman and a vice president.
They might be mad at us about this conversation because, this isn't even signed with Vlad.
Yeah, they don't want Lone to talk.
This ain't even signed with Vlad. This is just like this whole situation is extra because again, and I agree, Vlad shouldn't have went totally straight to I'm going to get you fired.
Sucker.
But it's still it grew too many legs, and here we are.
Look, this is why I tell people you want to be rich. You don't particularly want to be famous.
Those are two different things.
Because I didn't know Dark Child had a cousin working at Princeton.
Now
until 20 minutes ago.
You know now,
and that she don't want that to be her claim to fame either. She working at Princeton.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even calling her by her name.
Exactly, Dark Child's cousin,
or even
who got into a Vlad.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to that young lady. What? Morgan
exactly.
Jenkins?
Her young lady.
Make sure I say her name, man. Make sure we get that.
No, that's not helping. That's not helping.
This doesn't help her case.
All right, never mind. I fell for it too. Never mind.
It's like
just leave it alone.
We're already talking about Princeton here.
Hey man, Vlad was coming with the receipts, man. He was trying to,
Yeah.
If we were talking about a regular university or even a HBCU,
well, it wouldn't work.
This wouldn't even be a situation.
It would have been worse because you're talking about if it had been Rutgers, that's a public university. At least Princeton is private.
Yeah.
Public university, she probably would have been fired.
Yeah. Possible.
No, that's a little extra. That's
and especially
sounds like the refs in the Knicks game. We're being too petty here.
Yeah, well, I mean, they coming for anything DEI, so they'd be like, "It's this DEI hire out of here," which is code now. But
yeah,
All right, man. If you're still in the chat and you hung around, we appreciate you. The lurkers, the workers, if you're there, thank y'all for sticking with us. NewOldHeads.com for all the education you need this year. If you see it, like it, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and don't forget to leave us a review and 5 stars. Anything less than that, then you playing. You fronting on us at this point. But we really appreciate the support as always, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Yeah.
Yep.